Welcome back to the Oddcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ricky.
And we're just two odd dudes who decided to start a podcast.
And today we are talking about DIY projects.
Yes, I don't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But you've recently done one, which we'll talk about.
Well, I'm
You're
in the process.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, DIY stands for Do It Yourself. And we're going to talk about whether or not that's a good idea when you're talking about home projects.
What projects would be a bad idea to do yourself?
Yeah. Which ones you can do yourself.
Yep.
This will go a little bit off of what Paul and I talked about in episode 31.
Yeah.
Changing your oil, tires,
Right.
these kind of things. We'll talk about that. We'll get into all of it.
Right. And speaking of Paul, he's not even behind the camera this week, so it feels lonely in here.
Yeah. Paul,
so you
we
have
love
to give
you.
us a little bit of extra attention this week.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, buy a hat. I'm gonna put the intro or the plug in the intro. You see this hat? It's beautiful.
It is pretty beautiful.
It reminds you and others to stay odd, so you should buy one.
And you know what it does? It makes your jaw and or beard your beard and or jawline look better.
It sure does. Let's get to the
That'll get
Oddcast.
people to buy it. Oh, hold on. My bad. Say it again.
Yeah, that was your bad.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Oddcast.
Okay, so we asked you about 3 questions on our Instagram to see how you guys did DIY things. If you did them, what you do, and then what you would never do as a DIY. And a lot more people said do it yourself than I expected.
Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah. What do we have? 70% of people said that they would rather do it themselves than pay someone to do it, which was kind of surprising, honestly,
Right?
because do-it-yourself projects are hard.
Right.
And they take forever.
Right, and my thought in this question is, like, how often do you DIY something, right? Because, like, maybe they're thinking of specifically household items, but, like, when it comes to, like, a car or when it comes to, like, your haircut.
Yeah, don't do that yourself.
Right? You don't DIY that. Like, I don't. Some people do.
Some
Yeah.
people cut their own hair.
Especially if they go for just, like, the shave look.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I got a fade going.
Yeah.
There's
don't
no
do that.
way I could do that by myself, and there's no way I'd trust my wife to do it.
Yeah, and you can't. You got the hard line, too.
Yeah, hard part.
There's no way.
You mess that up, and then you got multiple hard parts.
Yeah.
Not a hard part. Hard parts.
Yeah. It's like a zigzag. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
No.
If you made it work right, it'd be
I
a
wouldn't be able to make it
pain
work.
to do every morning.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, DIYs. I have a personal story.
Yeah.
With this, in January, I decided it'd be a good idea to remodel our bathroom.
yeah,
It is a good idea.
yeah,
The problem is I have this tendency to decide that I want to do something. I think about it for quite a long time, and then I do it.
yeah. And you tend to go all out.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it halvesies.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to be like, someone's like, oh, we could just redo the shower. No. If I'm redoing the shower, the rest of it looks stupid because it's not new like the rest of it. So
Right,
I'm
right.
redoing the whole thing. Well, that turned into one night I decided that I was just going to rip the shower out.
Wait. Just one night, you're like, this is coming out of here.
And I finally, well, I was like, yep, we're doing it. And I bought all this stuff from
Okay.
Lowe's.
Yeah.
And one night was like, all right, just drop all the money. Let's go for it.
Okay, so Erica knew. It wasn't like
Oh, no,
she
she
walked
knew.
in
She
to
was
take
on
a
board.
shower and she was like, where did it go?
No, she was on board. We had decided we were going to do
Yeah.
it, but and we were just waiting on the right time to get it done.
Yeah.
And one day I had a burst of energy about 8:00 at night. So I was like, well, the shower's gone. And the shower was gone.
Well done.
Then I had to replace all the drywall board or the purple board, the backer board behind the shower panel. Got that done. Got the shower panel mostly done or started to get it done.
Yeah.
Then we decided we were going to refi our house. And then they told us that they were going to have to do an inspection inside of our house. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks because
Yeah.
I got all this work going on in my house. And they were like, okay, well, there could be no open subfloor, which, 2-story,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
wood. And I was like, crap. And they were like, okay, we're going to do an inspection in like 3 days.
Yeah.
There's no way I didn't have the time. I was working full time, whatever. So I called my mom up. It's like, hey, who do you know that could do this job? So she knew someone. We paid that person to come in, do it. Did the shower panel the first day. Everything looked great. I was super happy. They're coming back the second day to install our shower door.
Yeah.
This is a 2 panels of glass.
Right.
It's very farmhouse barn style glass door.
Right, because there's
metal
one
track.
glass, and then the other one slides over.
Yeah, the one is just stationary. The other one slides on this metal track with big old wheels. It is a very, very heavy door, or amount of glass, but also it's a very, very expensive door.
Right.
Which, we're not the richest in the world.
Right.
We're well off because, we could pay to remodel our bathroom.
Right.
And we could pay someone to do it.
Right.
At least do this part of it. I'm getting updates. I'm at school. My mom is here.
Right.
She's helping, make sure everything is, good or whatever. Because there's people working on our house, and I didn't want my wife alone here. And so but they're working. They got full-time jobs too. So they're, hey, the guy knows what he's doing. He's working or whatever. I come home, and at this point, everything has been ripped out of our bathroom.
Yeah.
Except for the sink.
Yeah.
Toilet's gone. Floor's gone.
Yeah.
All that. Then Eric goes, it doesn't look good. And they walk around the corner of the bathroom. And I'm like, the door is installed backwards.
Because you had the door that was the sliding door that was supposed to open was placed where the toilet drain was in the ground.
Yeah.
So you would have had to walk around the toilet.
No, this is a small bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So there's 2 parts. The front area of the bathroom is like where the vanity's at, and it's pretty open. There was a little door or a doorway, and there's a toilet, and it's literally so small that like you're either sitting on the toilet, standing in front of the toilet, or you're in the shower.
Right. Okay.
That's how this works. You cannot do all 3 and move the door at the same time.
Yeah.
If you're sitting on the toilet, the door won't open or close. That's how small the space is.
Okay.
Well, naturally, you should be able to walk through the door and slide open the shower and walk in. Well, the guy spun it the other way. So if the toilet was installed, I would have to literally step over the toilet, poop while I'm doing that, and then step inside the shower.
You have to poop every time you go in. It's like payment.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So naturally, that was not okay with me and couldn't work. So I was very frustrated.
Yeah. I remember this day.
Yeah. And also not sure what I was I was frustrated that no one noticed. But not too mad because I'm like, whatever. Like, you trust the guy that's supposed to know what he's doing.
Right.
I was more frustrated because in order to install this door, they had to drill into the shower paneling that we bought.
Yeah.
Which is real expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like crazy expensive, but it's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm like, if they drilled into it and then we have to flip this stupid door, there's going to be holes in my paneling.
Yep.
Which, like, it's water. You can't have holes in the paneling. You can't just have holes where water goes because that's how mold happens. So I just didn't do anything for a month. I
sat and processed for a while. Like, what am I going to do?
Literally just didn't go in there for a month.
Wow.
I just had the door closed.
Didn't want to look at it.
Let me say this part. I forgot to add to the front of the story. We never used our upstairs toilet because it didn't work. Like, it flushed, but it took forever to refill. It's an easy thing. I just had to replace the pump, but I was like, I'll get to it later. And it was one of those things that just kept going. And then it was like a part of the mental process of like, I'm already gotta replace the pump. Just do the whole dang bathroom.
Yeah.
So anyways, didn't touch it for a month. Slowly started working on it again. My dad came over. My father-in-law to help me with the shower paneling, the backer board, and the plumbing because he's a plumber. My dad came over one weekend, a month or so ago or whatever, and helped me turn the door the proper way.
Yeah.
Which took us like 2 full days to figure out how we could do this and salvage all the parts and not have to pay thousands of dollars for new door, new paneling.
Right.
We had to get some extra siding. Like on a shower, there's like a trim piece, right?
Yeah,
that kind of covers everything in. We had to get an extra piece of that because the guy had cut into that to put the door in.
Right.
Because that was just so it would lay flush. Well, now that part is on the other side, and we can't peel it up and replace it. So then I had to wait for Lowe's to send this to me. Then this is my horror story of DIY. Okay, so we'll get to the rest of the stuff.
Right.
Then that happens. I order it. I wait a week and a half. Never shows up. So I call Lowe's. I call Lowe's 3 days in a row.
This part's so good.
3 days in a row. Finally get someone that's like, we're not sure where it's at.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's lost. I'm like, yeah, you think it was supposed to. It said my estimated arrival date was the Friday before. We are now a week and a half past that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, of course it's lost. Like, it's not coming from China.
Right.
Like, so they're like, okay, yeah, we're not sure where it's at. It's probably lost in a warehouse. We'll send you another one. We'll expedite it. I'm like, cool. They literally expedite it. That was a Friday. It was there the next day.
Wow.
But guess what? One showed up at my house. We have a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
This is 96 inches of trim piece.
Yeah.
The big box. So I'm like, oh, cool. Grab the box, put it in. 2 hours later, Ring doorbell notification. Giant box outside of my house. I'm like, what is this? It was the second one. There's two. They delivered two to me. And I'm like, I'm not sending this back. Because when I told them, they're like, we don't know what. We only sent you one. I'm like, then why is there two here? Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe there was like a glitch in the Matrix and something buffered and redid itself. Like same delivery guy and everything.
Let me just say this. We are not sponsored by anyone currently. We've been sponsored before by our buddy David Smith. Faithful Fittings. Got us these hats and the sweet shirts that we have. Check him out. Check out our website, 2odddudes.com. I will never, ever be sponsored by Lowe's.
Really? No, I would.
No,
still?
No, listen, Linda. So all of that had happened. I skipped the part of the story where when I ordered everything, and I won't say how much, but it was a lot of things.
Yeah.
They fraud warning my card.
Okay.
And then they canceled it. Okay? It was a Lowe's credit card.
It's a Lowe's credit card.
Okay? They
gave you the limit.
I didn't even hit
under the limit.
I was
like,
less
fraud.
than half of my limit.
Yeah.
They frauded it because I bought too many things. So they canceled my card. But all the things they're shipping to their store already shipped. And I'm like, wait, that's confusing. I haven't paid you yet. You canceled. And they're like, no, it's okay. We're sending you a new card. It's all just going to transfer to the new card. Cool. No problem.
Yeah.
Stuff ships. I get to Lowe's. I go to pick up my stuff. Here's my ID. Where's the cards that you used to pay for it? Oh, I don't have it. It's right here. Oh, I did have it actually. I was like, it's right here. They're like, okay, can we swipe it? I'm like, no, they canceled this one. I have this one now. Like, oh, we can't use that. Why not? Because you ordered it with this card. I know they canceled that card because of fraud warning. And so all my stuff is at Lowe's.
Yeah.
All of it. Thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Yeah, right.
I'm not allowed to pick it up.
Because the card canceled your card, told you should use the next card, and everything will be on the new card. Mm-hmm. And then you went and tried to use the new card, and it didn't work because it was a new card and it wasn't the card that you used to buy.
Right. So they're like,
Ridiculous.
we have to use the original card. I'm like, the original card is dead.
Yeah.
It's right here, but it won't work. Go ahead, swipe it. So I have my old card, my new card, my ID, and my passport, because someone online on the phone was like, just take another form of identification. Like, yeah, we can't give it to you. So I was at Lowe's 4 days in a row for 2 hours or more each day.
Oh, my gosh.
So I finally found someone, and on the phone multiple times. Finally found a lady. Her name was Keely. Keely, if you hear this, you're the real rock star.
Yeah, we'll let you sponsor us.
You can sponsor us, Keely. She said, I'm going to handle this. You've been here too long, too many days. This is ridiculous that no one's done this for you. She dead stocked everything. She canceled my order, canceled everything, dead stocked it. She's like, it doesn't exist anymore. And then she resold it to me as dead stock items for the original price, but just on the new card.
That was it? That's all she had to do?
That's all. She just had to find the right person. So, Keely, you're the real MVP.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Lowe's, I will never be sponsored by you. But anyways,
that being
back to
said,
the story.
Home Depot, if you're listening to
Home
this,
Depot,
hit us up.
Hit us up, man.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Home Depot every day for 7 straight days. We'll get to that part. So anyways.
Wait, recently?
Yes, literally. Every
For
day.
this new bathroom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
So,
I didn't know that.
finally got in the mode. School ended. Went on vacation. Had your wedding. Got done with all that.
Right.
Was back. Took a little bit of a break. Read a little bit. Boom. Let's do this. I'm game mode. Call my dad. Dad, I need some help. When are you able to come help me lay the tile and do all that stuff? Because now the shower's good, right? Now we got to lay a tile. We got to put the new vanity in. We got to put the mirrors in. We got to put the lights in. We got to paint. We got to baseboards, all that stuff. My dad's like, I'm on it. So last week, he started helping me. But he was like, okay, these are the things you need. I got things I needed. Wasn't sure what this thing was. He was like, no, you need this thing. So then I went to Home Depot the next day. Then he was here, and he's been here every single day since, except for Sunday, since like last Wednesday.
Wow.
It's now a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
you guys been working hard.
working a lot. But we got the floor laid. That was a process. I've never really done that. He's done it a couple times. We figured it out. Looks pretty good. I'm not acting like we're professionals, but we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
Most of my dad did it, but I was there. I cut the tiles.
Nice.
I was the tile cutting guy and the guy that had to run up and down the stairs. That's the worst job.
Running up it with the
Dad,
tiles?
Dad, if you ever listen to this, thank you so much for all the help you did. But man, running up and down the stairs with the tiles was exhausting.
Because tiles are heavy too.
Yeah, and it was cutting out back in the heat in the middle of the day in Phoenix in the summer. We got that laid. Then then that's got to dry. Then we got the grout done. And my mom had come over. She helped me paint beforehand, which was great. Everything looks good. It's all getting done good, right? We're on track. We're moving. We get the baseboards. That was fun. I was the one cutting the baseboards. I don't know why I became the person that was in charge of cutting stuff because, it's a job I can do, but man, it's a lot harder than it looks because you're like, oh, I got it. It's this long. You cut it, you put it back. You're like, it's too short.
Yeah.
How does this make any sense? So anyways, and then learning to cut baseboards because you got out angles and you got in angles. It was, oh man, my brain hurt so bad. Do all this, right? I'm boring people at this point of the story. Get all that done.
I'm still interested because I'm like, I haven't done this before, so I'm learning stuff as I do this. And it sounds like you were also learning as you started
I've
doing
learned
this
so
progress.
much, and there's so much I have no idea what's happening. But let me go back to Lowe's.
Okay.
Lowe's. The guy at Lowe's, Keely, amazing. Helps me out. Gets everything taken care of. She's like, this vanity weighs 350 pounds. I was like, oh, I did not know that when I ordered. She's like, we're going to get a forklift put in the back of your truck. I'm like, awesome. I called you, Paul, and Israel. I'm like, hey, y'all, can you come over to my house and help me lift this thing out of my truck? Because I can't lift 350 pounds by myself.
Right.
I wish I could.
That'd be awesome.
That's like more than twice me. So you guys came over, helped me lift it, put it in my garage, and it's been there since January.
Yep.
So while you were on your honeymoon, Paul and Israel were here, and I was like, would you guys help me get it up the stairs?
Oh, how did that go? I never heard about that.
Oh, I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So the person at Lowe's was like, hey, man, I've worked at this brand before. Just so you know, the vanity top comes pre-installed. It's already sealed to the countertop. So, and these legs are super fragile. The easiest way if you're going upstairs is to carry it in the box. I was like, all right, good to know.
It's good to know.
So I was like, hey, guys, we got to carry it in the box. But the box is a little too big to just, carry and turn because I have I have a 90 degree on my stairs. So I was like, okay, here's the plan. We're going to set it down, and then we're going to make it fall this way. Well, once we set it down, we realized that the legs were too long to make it fall this way, the bottom part of the legs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't touch them. They're fragile, man. That's what Lowe's told me. So anyways, at one point, I was like, we're going to go up the stairs. We're just going to, carry it like you would carry anything. And then it's flat. And we flipped it over on its top so that we're not touching the legs. I'm like, then we're just going to go straight up and set it on its side, which means Israel or someone tall is going to have to push it straight up to get, to go from kind of flat to straight up and down.
Right.
Well, however it happened, Israel was struggling. Paul went up, kind of moved around to help, and somehow it ended up that I was at the bottom underneath all of this by myself, and they were both on the top trying to push it up, but I had all the weight pushing down on me while they were trying to push it up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I just leg pressed the 300. And I'm like, okay, nobody move. And I like push my hands against the walls and it's resting against my back. Right. And I just basically put my feet on one stair and I was like, we're going one at a time. Nobody move. You guys just push it straight up. And I just leg pressed one stair at a time, 4 stairs straight. And we just got it. And I was like, but when we set it there and we just took a break. And I was like,
yeah, of course.
I have no idea how we're going to turn it. Have you ever seen the Friends episode?
Yeah, the pivot.
Like, pivot. Yeah. Pivot. That's basically what it turned into. So Israel was on one side, Paul's on another, and I was on another. And we're like picking this up, like trying to lay it flat at the same time while twisting it and pivoting it so that the legs turn, don't break, but then lay flat so that we can go up the next way.
Right.
We do that, miraculously don't break anything,
right?
And no holes in the wall. It's
nice.
Incredible. We get it to the top, we flip it over. I haven't seen this thing. This was the beginning of June.
Yeah.
I have not seen it. I ordered it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see it because I don't even remember what I ordered. They're like, yeah, we want to see it too because they just helped me lift this 350-pound vanity up the stairs. So we open it up. The vanity top is not sealed. It is not connected.
Oh my gosh. So it would have been so much easier.
Yeah, we could have taken it in 2 pieces. 2 trips, easy. Second thing, the box legs, the legs at the bottom of the box, were not the vanity legs. So we could have picked it up from those legs. So we specifically avoided the legs that the box had.
Yeah.
Because we thought they were the real legs.
Yeah.
They weren't the real legs. There was those legs, which were wood legs with a whole wood board that added who knows how much weight.
Yeah.
And then on top of the wood board was these big, giant styrofoam blocks.
Yeah.
That the vanity was sitting on top of. And then another big, giant piece of styrofoam. And that the vanity top was on top of. And then another piece of styrofoam. And another giant wood piece. And then the box.
So it was sandwiched between two wood pieces, one of which had legs that you were told not to touch because you thought they were the real vanity legs.
Yeah, which they weren't.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So all that happened. So shout out Paul and Israel. You guys are the best for helping move that ridiculous part of the story.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to be said, my dad has helped me many days in a row. We've had all sorts of countless setbacks. We finally started to get the vanity in the other day. I think it was yesterday. It's all blurring together. And realized that one of the pipes for the water, the valve came out of the wall. It's too close to the other wall. It wouldn't fit in the vanity. Like, it would hit the edge of the vanity. So called my father-in-law. He came over and rescued us, moved the pipe in, moved some of the drains in. Hopefully that's all going to work. We haven't got there yet. Painted the rest of the wall. Moved the vanity back, just kind of look at it. We're like, cool, looks good. My dad and I today, we hung up a light. Looks beautiful. Went to hang up this mirror. We bought a mirror that has the same track system and wheels as the crazy heavy, stupid door. This mirror is crazy heavy.
Yep.
And it's all like, all the tracking is all solid metal. So it's just heavy. Everything is heavy. But there's a very small gap between the vanity top and the lights. Like, it's a snug fit. And we were like, you know what? The vanity's not in there anymore because we got to work in there. And we had to patch a couple holes, blah, blah. We did a couple measurements. Like, okay, the top of that, where the bar that's out from the wall that the top of the mirror is going to hang on, the track, that's got to be right under the lights that hang down because that's the only way they look good, right? We did all the work. Got it all hung up. It looked amazing. And I stepped back, and then I stood up from my hunched position, and I couldn't see myself in the mirror because it was too low.
Which is funny because that's a problem that I have all the time at other people's houses. But
yeah, this is a problem that I shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have
like the average height
of
a person. So anyways, the mirror is still there.
I totally get that, though, because you were measuring from the top of the vanity where you're like, okay, I want it to be this far away from the top of the vanity, and then going up to where you should put it.
Yeah.
I would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, well, and we only had so much because the glass, so you got the J-box for the light, right? And then it's got the pegs that are coming out, and it's got like a little down where the light bulb screws in. And those light bulbs have like this clear glass I don't know what you call it, covering.
Like a can around it.
Yeah, and it comes down. And so we're like, okay, we're going to go as close to that as we can.
Yeah.
So it's like outset, and then the mirror was like behind it. So it wasn't like they were touching, but they were like level. They were equal with each other. So we just assumed that's what you should do.
Yeah.
You know, we're tired. It's been 6 days now or whatever doing this. It's not what we should have done. We should have measured it all the way out. So now tomorrow I'll get up and we'll move it up to 3 inches so that it is where I can see me, and it's as high as it'll possibly go.
Yeah.
It'll look great. And
good.
So we have to do that. We have to do put the vanity top on, get the vanity back where it needs to go, install one more little LED light, which should be simple, hopefully, and then we're done. All that to say, don't do it yourself. That's stupid. It's never going to go how you think it's going to go. If you're going to do it yourself, make sure that you have a plan. Don't be like me. Don't rip out a shower until you know that you have at least 2 weeks to make sure that the shower goes back where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Do some research first. That's all I'm saying. Don't be like me.
And
do
make
it
sure
yourself.
you know like some helpful people.
Yeah, that helps. I'm thankful that my father has been here and my father-in-law. They've been here. My mom helped me paint. That was a great time. We were hung out together.
Yeah.
I've got friends that are young and strong that help me lift things. And if I didn't have these people, we probably just would have moved. I was about to find a new house.
Just sell the house with a destroyed bathroom in it.
As is.
Yeah.
Sale is final. You just do you just buy it how it is.
Yeah, exactly. For DIY for me, honestly, the majority of my DIY projects are in this room.
Yeah, it's this one.
This table, I made this table.
It's beautiful.
I'm pretty proud of this table.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Although what was funny about this table is, I don't
know why I rubbed it instinctively.
Because it feels great.
Ooh, look at this.
So I remember my dad was like, "I'll cover the wood to put on top of this table." So I went and bought a spool and sanded it and everything. He's like, "I'll cover the wood. You go to Home Depot." Actually, I think my grandma also was like, "I'll cover part of it," because they were like, "Yeah, you do a fun project." And I was like, "That's great, thank you." And so he's like, "Just get I figured I was like, I'm gonna get the same kind of wood that's in like pallets or spools." Yeah. And so I'm going and I'm like looking for it. I'm like, I'm seeing like cherry wood and stuff. I'm like, it's clearly not the same because it's like red or it's a dark brown or whatever it is, right? Because you're looking for that like cheap sort of whatever, kind of yellowy wood.
Mm-hmm. Reclaimed wood.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm going to, I'm like, oh, found it. Totally found it. Grab it, get everything I need, tons of it. And it was like $100 and some for everything to cover it. And I was like, that seems a bit much.
Yeah, for a pallet of wood.
For what I was looking for. And then I got there and I was like, Dad, it was like $100 and some. And he was like, $100 and some. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what kind of wood you get? I was like, I got poplar. That's the wood, right? And he was like, no, that's not what that kind of wood is. It's supposed to just be like junk wood, but poplar is actually nice wood. Yeah. So I ended up using it, and it's nice because if you look now at the boards, there is some green and a little bit of purpley in the actual boards. But
if you had used the reclaimed wood, we wouldn't have it as our table anymore.
That's probably true.
It would be too rough.
It looks much nicer now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you sand it? Did you sand it up like by hand?
I sanded some parts of it by hand, but mostly a belt sander.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, anyways, here's my thought. Do it yourself. It's fun. I've learned a lot. It's been a great time.
Yeah, definitely a learning thing.
Factor in about however much you think your project is gonna cost. Give yourself a 10 to 15% buffer.
Yeah. Because
something's gonna break. You're gonna break something. Or it'll just break on you. Mm. Or there'll be something else wrong that you didn't know was wrong. And then you have to go buy something else.
Yeah.
I've been to Home Depot literally every day for like 7 straight days because I'm like, oh, well, we broke this. I need to go get a new one. Or I didn't know that was going to be broken. I have to buy that.
Right.
You just have to keep going. It's okay.
And also budget like another 100% to 200% amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's never, if you think it's a 3-day project, it's a 3-month project.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
1,000% extra budgeted time.
But I'm interested into the thoughts of these people. So let's get into that. Because, like we said, 70% of you said you would rather do it yourself. Because we asked, when it comes to projects, do you prefer to do it yourself or pay someone to do it for you? So here's the thought. I also prefer to do it myself because it's usually cheaper. Well, maybe, theoretically. And also it's kind of fun. You get to destroy stuff, blah, blah, blah. But more importantly, do you actually do it yourself, right? That's the real question. And so we asked a couple more of these. Is there anything that you would never do yourself? And some of these were interesting.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So the main one, plumbing.
Plumbing. Oh, yeah.
Over and over. That's why I'm happy my father-in-law knows what he's doing. Because when you start to get into water and the fact that it could just keep going, that's terrifying.
Right. And it will fill like little tiny holes in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like a solid where it'll just like, okay, if it pretty much fits, it fits.
Right.
It will go everywhere.
Yeah. And it just, could you imagine like you just house flooding? You'd be like, oh, it's just trying to put in a new sink and now I have to get a new house.
Yeah.
Because the whole house is flooded because I broke everything.
Opportunity. House pool.
In-house pool. Charlie, our good friend Charlie, said, flooring in a house or remodeling in general, I would screw it all up. Let me tell you, Charlie, I know what you're talking about. But I will say this. The tile, okay, when we're laying the tile, 0 miscuts.
Wow. Wait, what? I thought you said you had to cut it and then go back in and then be like, oh, this is too short.
No, that was on the baseboard.
Oh, yeah.
Baseboard, a lot of miscuts.
Yeah, okay. But the tile, you're a master.
But the tile, I got it, man. I even had one cut. I had cut a whole U out. I didn't have a grinder, and I just had the one tile saw, and I was like, we're going to figure this out. Big brained it, man.
Was it for the toilet?
Perfect.
Like we put
no, it was around part of the closet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the toilet, we kind of just figured it out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Toilet works. I peed in it earlier.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Well, our bathroom is to the point where I actually showered in their shower. So I mean, we're
that's
real
gotta
close.
Feel good. That's gotta
we're
feel good.
real close.
And I looked at your downstairs bathroom earlier today, and I was like, whoa, there's so much less stuff in here. Because normally it's like your guys' operating bathroom, but now I'm like, this looks more like a guest bathroom now.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be clean again one day.
Yeah.
One day we'll be able to clean it, and it'll actually look clean when people come over because we haven't, been in it
all week,
all the time. What else did people say they wouldn't do?
They said, I liked Spencer's, which was open heart surgery. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's skilled enough to do open heart surgery on themselves.
Closed heart surgery?
Yeah, I don't know.
He said open specifically. He didn't say heart surgery.
Probably any surgery I wouldn't do myself.
My guess is true.
Unless it's like getting a splinter out, I could probably do that.
What if it's removing a tooth?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do it to yourself?
Well, I mean, not
just
like
tie a string to it.
Well, that's like baby teeth that are meant to fall out. We're talking about adult teeth.
Why would you try it on an adult tooth?
Why would I want my teeth?
I'm sure like the crazy MTV guys did that back in the day.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the other ones, typically with my truck, anything that requires precision or electrical, which I appreciated because it's like, you know what? I know there's a level to my skill.
Right.
It's not precision. It's not electrical work. Electrical work is terrifying too because you could die. But also because if you get to electrical work in a vehicle, me trying to look at a wiring diagram, if you don't know what you're doing, it's so confusing. You're like, look, everything just touches itself.
Yeah.
It's all touching. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. It's broken.
It's broken.
Buy a new car. That's always the solution. Just buy something new. When it comes to DIY or paying someone to do it, I've moved to the third option, get a new thing.
This is why
move on.
You should never buy or like live in permanently one of those like house cars, like a RV or when they do like a old school bus into a house. Because then you have double the problems. You got to worry about house problems and plumbing and everything, and you got to worry about the electrical and the mechanical of the car.
Yeah. And if you ever had
one thing breaks, it all breaks.
You ever had to clean out the poop area of a motorhome?
Oh, like the septic tank?
Not fun, man.
I've not. Have you? You've had to do that?
Yeah, my family had a lot of motorhomes growing up.
What did you do? You just like dump it?
Yeah, there's a big old hose that you attach to, and then you put it into a hole in the ground. It's a dumping area.
Yeah. No pun intended.
No, I think it's intended.
Oh, okay.
But one of the other things that I thought was funny was, have you ever tried to fix or make something yourself and it went terribly wrong? And a lot of people were like, no. They're just like, nope. I know my limitations. Let me just say something. I wish I knew my. Oh, goodness. I've broken so many things.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I haven't done a whole lot of DIY projects, so maybe I haven't had something that's gone terribly wrong, except for buying poplar wood, which turned out to be a great table, but
yeah, but it was pricey. But hey, at least you had someone that bankrolled you. They're like,
that's true. We got you. Yeah,
it's a lot worse when it's your money.
Right.
Yeah. When we kind of started this project, and I've done other DIY stuff in our house. I like building cornhole boards and just watched a couple of videos, figured out how to do it. Didn't have the right tools. Now I have the right tools and made another set. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
At least I think it is. Done other stuff around our house. Zach, my best friend in California. When we were in high school, we decided, nope, scratch that. We were in college.
Yeah.
Don't know why. We were really bored at work one day. And I really have no idea how we got to this point, but somehow one of us, there was a really nice pallet that stuff had come in on.
Yeah.
We decided, you know what we should do with this pallet? We should take it home. We should build something with it. And we Googled things to do with a pallet.
Yeah.
And somehow we came up with the idea that we should build a bench out of pallet wood. We spent a good hour and a half trying to take the pallet apart in a way that would make the wood usable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so difficult.
It's not fun. And we had one pallet.
Yeah.
We took it home in my Mitsubishi Eclipse, which if you know how big those are, that was a trick in and of itself.
Yeah.
We decided it was a stupid idea. So we went and bought all the wood and we built a bench. It still resides at my dad's house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, it's moved a couple times to different houses.
It moved into something.
But, my dad still has it. It wasn't my mom's for a while. Now it's my dad's. But it's still functioning. It didn't fall apart.
That's fair.
DIY. It was my first DIY.
I also built something out of pallets, kind of. I saw that there was
this table.
I built out of pallets. I saw that there was a whole bunch of pallets being like they were free pallets on I think like Craigslist or OfferUp or whatever. And so I went there and I found, and what's nice is I found like 4, maybe 5 that were the exact same pallet, right?
Yeah.
So I was like,
which is hard to do.
It's super hard to do. And I was like, this is great. I'm going to build some cool stuff out of it. And then I went to my apartment, which was a different apartment at the time. But I went to my apartment and I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with these.
Yeah.
And so then I just laid out like 3 of them, maybe 4 of them. And that was the extent of my bed. And that was my new bed frame. So I did that and I put a pallet at the end. And then I still had 2 pallets left because I had grabbed other pallets that weren't quite the same, but they were still nice pallets. And I was like, what am I going to do with these pallets?
Pallet bed.
I just laid one on the ground and then one up against the wall, and I put a mini fridge on it.
Nice. Pallet bed, pallet fridge.
Pallet stand, yeah. That's what it was.
You got a whole pallet theme going.
There was a lot of wood in my room. It's a whole corner. It was great.
You know what I think the most successful DIY project was, though? Was the pallet wall in our house. It was not a real pallet wall.
Yeah.
We bought a kit. We bought kits.
Right.
But we had to cut it and everything.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It does look great.
That was quick.
I can't even think about the time when that wasn't there now.
I know. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
That was a COVID thing. See, here's my thought on this. COVID obviously did a lot to the world.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into all that. It changed the DIY game.
Oh, absolutely.
People were bored.
Yeah,
right?
We should have bought Home Depot stock.
We should have. My father, whom I love and has helped me so much, he got chickens.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't just get chickens. He built an entire palace for these chickens.
Yeah.
There's a giant chicken coop in the back that he just keeps building onto. Soon their house is going to be bigger than his.
That's awesome.
But that's kind of like the theme with people. Like when COVID hit, and I remember going to Home Depot because I was like, I'm going to start building stuff too because I'm bored at home. And that's when I started building cornhole boards. But it was like this crazy lines to get into Home Depot. And not just because they were limiting people, which they were. There was just crazy amount of people in Home Depot.
Yeah.
And Lowe's and all these places. But I think it's a good thing. Like, I think more of us need to, like we were joking earlier about, you know, I was joking earlier about like, don't do it yourself, but
Right.
there's something wonderful about being like proud that you did that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
I 1000% could have paid someone to come in and they would have laid the tile way better than my father and I did, because they would have known what they were doing. They would have been perfect at it. They've done it for years and years and
Yeah.
years. But now when I go, I'm like, man, like, one, that's a memory that my dad and I got to have, my mom and I got to have with painting, my father-in-law and I got to have with, you know, the different plumbing aspects in the shower. But also I look at that and I'm like, I did this. Like, I was a part of making this, not by myself, obviously, but a part of making this our bathroom, which is just, there's a pride behind it that I think more people need to try to do something. Just try it.
I agree with that. I mean, because, like, I was very small, but, like, my headlights went out in my car. And I was like, I bet you I can figure out how to fix this.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, I looked it up, figured out how to fix it, and I was like, this is great. I know exactly what I'm doing. Went and bought the bulbs, took everything out, put it in, put everything back, and I had working headlights. And then I was like, I know what to do.
Yep.
And then Tony's headlight went out, and I was like, ha!
Yeah.
Like, I can't do much with cars. I can change.
But
I can't even change.
the light bulb.
I can't even change the oil. I can just add more oil, and I can change the light bulb. And so I did it.
Yeah. Well, did you listened to Paul and I talking about I've changed oil before. Me, this is not worth it. That's a pay. See, that's why DIY. There's a certain thing like there's things I like to do, and there's things that I'm like, not my forte, not doing it. Plumbing, I'm not doing it because I'll break it. The oil change, just not worth it, man.
Right.
It's not worth the time for me. And when I take my place at the dealership, they're nice. They give me snacks, coffee, water, whatever I
What
want.
dealership? Oh, just the dealership?
I go to the dealership for mine, yeah.
What does it cost you to get your oil changed at the dealership?
Because I have a truck and they have to add extra oil. It's like $80, $90.
Yeah, okay.
What's yours?
I don't know.
Subarus.
Maybe like $60.
Man, that's a lot.
I don't know.
That's a lot for a little car.
I don't really know.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've like actually looked at it. Last time I went and got my oil changed, I had to do a 90,000 mile tune-up, which cost me about $9,000. Or sorry, $900.
Oh
not
my
9,000.
gosh, I was gonna say. See, that's where you buy a new car, Alex.
Yeah.
$9,000 is a new car. $900 is not.
Yeah, no, it was $900, and I was like, didn't know I was gonna be spending $1,000 today, but yeah, all right.
Yeah, cars are fun, aren't they? So you're newly married.
Yeah,
You're a husband now.
husband.
Is that weird?
What's up? I'm
You were to be called a husband.
It's
Still new, right?
your husband or my? Or
Just
or
a
Tony's?
husband. I didn't
Yeah,
say,
it's a little
I
bit
didn't say
weird.
my husband. I said a husband.
It is a little bit weird.
Yeah, because it's a new title.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now there's a new pride.
yes.
You're the man of the house.
Right.
Right. Before you were living with a bunch of men, you were all the men of the house.
Right. Right.
Now you're the man.
right.
Are you going to start doing more DIY projects, you think?
I might. I think Tony and I would pair well in that because I'm like, ooh, let's do this, and she's like, okay, let's think about the logistics of this. You know, she's like, make sure everything's measured right. She's more like you in that, where it's like,
well, not with a mirror.
Not with the mirror.
But
yeah,
the other
you were
things.
bad with the mirror. Yeah. But like, she's more like, was specific about everything that goes on.
particular.
So we hung up a bunch of stuff on the wall recently. And so I like drilled in everything that I needed to do, and we had it all measured out and what. But she wanted it a specific way because she didn't want it to be crooked, you know, like.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like I can do this, like, because it's just now it's a request of like, can you make it
Right.
mathematically like proper? And I'm like,
Did you wear a
all
tool
right.
belt?
No, but I think I did hold some nails in my teeth.
Yeah, you got to wear a tool belt. It changes the game, man.
I don't have a tool belt.
Well, I'll
Do
go
I need
buy,
to get
we'll
one?
go buy one. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you your first tool belt. Have you ever had a tool belt?
I don't think so. No.
Can I have that experience with you? Can we go to Home Depot?
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool with me.
Because it just changes the game, man.
Yeah.
When you put that screwdriver in that little screwdriver holder in your tool belt, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've-
You look more like a hunky husband.
I've made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big man on campus now. Look at me.
I can't wait to have a tool belt now.
You know, now you got like your tape measure spot. You're like, oh, let me pull out my tape measure.
I will wear it everywhere.
Let me say this though. I've lost my tape measure so many times in the last week. I was like, we're just gonna buy 3 more because then they're everywhere. Then you can't lose them. We had 3. My dad bought his, I had mine, and I have my second one. Still lost all 3. I don't know how it happens. I wasn't wearing my tool belt.
I would be distraught. My tape measure is such a nice tape measure. It could probably
This is
stretch
getting
across.
into a weird podcast.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Well, this is people know.
We're talking about
People
tape measures.
people who have tape measures that are like nice, like there is a difference between like your like $4 tape measure and like your like $25 tape measure.
Oh, for sure.
It's great. I love it. It could probably reach across this room without breaking.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Maybe not all the way, but a good distance.
Anyways, y'all, let me just say this. Do a do-it-yourself project. Plan it out. YouTube some stuff.
Pinterest
isn't as helpful in the plan.
Pinterest is helpful
the
for
idea
ideas,
portion.
yeah.
But once you're past that, go YouTube some stuff. Look up some different websites that are building and construction type things. If you're doing that,
right.
But if you're not sure, find someone around you that can help you, and just ask some questions. And man, it's crazy what you get to learn. Like I never once thought I'd be cutting tile and laying tile, but got to do that this week. And you figure it out. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. You learned a new skill and you did it. So I think that's my biggest encouragement of the DIY. It can be extremely frustrating, but just keep going.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Do something fun.
What's the next thing you want to DIY?
What's the next thing I want to DIY?
What's something you want to do?
A bookcase door. I've always wanted to do this.
About that. Okay, let me say this part. You have to build the bookcase then.
I know.
Okay, you want to build the bookcase.
I want to build a bookcase, and I want it to be inlaid into the wall.
Okay. Not in your apartment, though, right?
No, not in the apartment.
No, like you keep talking about a bookcase door, but I'm like, man, there's not a lot to build on a bookcase door. If you buy the bookcase and you buy the hinge for the door, we're just like screwing in a couple screws.
No. Yeah.
You want to build a bookcase.
I want to build a bookcase door.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I've always wanted to make. So one is a bookcase door. So I've always wanted one of those in my house. Just in jest, as a novelty thing. That one's less serious than the next one. But the other thing is, as a kid, I loved climbing trees. So when I find a house that I want to raise my kids in, I want it to have a nice tree in the front.
You gonna build the tree?
I'm gonna build a tree. You just plant wood and it grows.
He's gonna go for the pallet wood again. We're reclaiming this wood. It's just bury it.
But I was like, I don't know what I want to do with it. I either whether you do the wood that's nailed into the base so that you can climb up, whether I want to do an actual tree house or just sort of something in the treetops for kids to go and have fun. Because I want them to be able to climb trees, but I also want there to be stuff up there that they could do. So whether it's stringing net between branches so that's like a hammock, so they can lay down and relax. I think it'd be really cool to do something like that.
So you need multiple trees if you do that.
Well, no, if you get a big tree that's got a lot of branches going out, you can string those between it and you can lay back.
But it's Arizona, man.
Hey,
listen. There's not a ton of big trees that can handle that and have the kind of branches that aren't just full of something that wants to murder.
Listen, if we find a house that has it, I'm doing it. Because there are those trees. Yeah. I grew up next to this little pond that had those trees. Granted, those trees have been there for a long time, so it couldn't be I plant this tree.
Right.
And then also, one of my proudest things when I went to GCU, if you go to GCU, you know where the quad is.
Lopes up.
Yeah, lopes up. In the quad, there's this tree that's really strong, a lot of branches going out. At one point, I hung 5 hammocks in just that one tree, comfortably. Not even you're sitting them in it's like a swing. It was fully sprawled out. So I think I could make it work.
That's your DIYs? You want to put hammocks in a tree?
I want to put a net hammock in a tree.
Okay.
And then
I think you should build a tree house. I think a kid deserves a tree house.
Yeah.
My backyard is full of desert, so my kid gets no tree house.
Desert house.
Yeah. There's a shed back there. You're welcome to it, son. It's full of spiders and stuff, but good luck. It'll make you stronger.
Bring a flashlight.
No. I'll have the creepy shed. Yeah. You have the treehouse, and then our kids can, they get to choose.
Or we combine our efforts. We just put your shed in my tree. For you nails,
Let's glue it in there.
Yeah.
Elmer's Gorilla Glue. It'll take care of everything. Oh my goodness. Well, if you have DIY'd a project that went horribly wrong, DM us. So, I can feel better about myself. But you know what? Even with all the setbacks, we're almost done. We're almost there. And you know what? It's gonna be beautiful. Maybe I'll post a picture of it.
Yeah, you should. We could we'll do like a little video tour of it.
Yeah, it won't be that long because it's not a very big bathroom.
Yeah, it'll be like 16 seconds, but you'll get to see where Ricky poops.
That is true.
That's
in
pretty
a
cool.
toilet.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the woods, but
Yeah.
not
But
that big.
typically in the
Typically
in the toilet.
What is your words of wisdom to these people that desire to do it themselves?
You know, if you're doing a DIY project, right, and it requires a plethora of wooden planks, and your dad's gonna buy those wooden planks for you, might as well get something a little bit nicer on accident. I mean, after all, it's no cost to you.
Yeah.
If someone's footing the bill, you always go a little bit bigger.
Your advice is to extort people.
It's just gonna make the DIY project so much better, and at the end they'll be proud of you for doing it.
If someone else is paying for it, buy the best thing you can.
And then what you do is at the end of it, you just offer to give it to them, and they'll probably say no because they're like, no, you made that, you should keep it. Like, I don't want you to feel bad.
That's
and then
how you feel
you
better
win.
about it?
Yeah. Manipulation is always a good idea, guys.
Oh my gosh, Alex, this is so bad. Oh, well, that was some form of wisdom. I don't know what it was, but
worldly wisdom. Yeah. Street smarts.
Oh, that was good. I do have to say, I don't know if you remember this, but this table is from you, and you built it.
Yeah.
But also, this table sits on a pallet, which is also from you. This is formerly your pallet.
This isn't my pallet.
This came from your
No,
move.
It did not.
It was in your house.
No, it didn't. It was in your garage when we did this. Up
thought it
against
came
the
from
back
your
wall.
house.
No.
Did just this come from your house?
Yeah, just that came from my house.
Did it happen at the same time? I don't know where this pallet came from.
I don't either. But we were in here and we're like, dang, this table's too short. And we were like,
Yeah.
and you were like, I got a pallet. And I was like, all right.
I thought that I put that pallet in my garage from your move.
No, I don't know. I've
When you
never
moved
had a
your
pallet
bed.
that has the number 2 sticker on here, which I look at every time. There's a little number 2 sticker down on the ground of this pallet.
I have no idea where this pallet came from.
I
I
don't
thought it when I helped you move, it came out of your house because you didn't want it.
No.
Remember, because you got rid of all those pallets.
I
from
did
under
get rid
your
of
bed.
a lot of pallets.
I thought that's where this came from.
Nope.
Well,
This isn't my pallet.
that's a mystery.
You-
We never know where this pallet.
You know what we did do, though? Together, DIY'd? We did this wall.
We did.
We
That's
DIY'd
right.
this wall. This tape wall. It is beautiful.
Look at it. It's great. This was Alex's first time really painting a wall too.
Yeah.
Did a phenomenal.
I mean,
job.
I did it like as a kid, but like that's when you have no supervision. You never do any of the corners and anything. You know, it's just like they're like, yeah, you can put a few strokes on the wall.
Yeah, we struggle in a couple areas, but for the most part, it looks great.
Yeah.
This part looks great.
It all
That's
honestly,
all that matters.
all of it looks great on screen. You just can't see any of the little
If
imperfections.
you're listening with your ears, then you can't see what we're pointing at. So you should go to YouTube and check us out.
Yeah.
So you can see how beautiful we are, and this hat is, and this wall is.
And if you tune in now, Ricky will blow you a kiss. Wow,
I didn't totally. I have saved that for my wife.
Yeah.
But also, tell us what side you like better. Do you like Alex's color or my color better? Also, lastly, I will say this. I'm proud about this. I'm colorblind. I picked this blue.
Yeah, he did. I was with him.
And I know it's beautiful. That's all I have to say.
It's beautiful blue. Well, guys, I think that's all we got for you.
That's unfortunate. We only went like 50 minutes. We should have added more.
Should add more.
Sorry I went on my long rant about Lowe's and all the awful things that happened to my DIY, but I just wanted to tell you guys that.
But now they know.
You
and
know,
now Lowe's
you know
knows.
more about me. And don't go to Lowe's. And Lowe's, if you listen to this, whoever you are, if you work at Lowe's and you're listening to this,
Yeah, we
shame
understand.
on you.
We understand why you're called Lowe's and not Highs.
Amen, brother. That was great.
We high-fived perfectly the first time if you were listening with your
Go to
ears.
Home Depot. That's all I have to say. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Thanks for listening to the Oddcast. And remember, stay out.